Star Wars 7x7, episode 2405. It's an actual snow day here in New Hampshire, and so I thought I'd do a little something different and share with you today a daily dose of Star Wars joy that's a little bit different. It's an appreciation for the scenes on Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. And if you're checking the video version of this episode out, I am outdoors in snowy central New Hampshire where we've got something on the order of a foot of heavy snow coming at us, and they preemptively declared a snow day for all of the kids in our local school system, meaning that even the remote learners like Scorekeeper Declan will not have to go to school today. They get an honest-to-goodness day to play, which is just so wonderful. And so I thought, you know what? Yeah, why don't we do something a little playful today? There had been a thing on social media about rent-free Star Wars moments that live in your head, or moments that live in your head rent-free is what I should say. And for me, it's hard not to say the entire 30-odd minutes of the Hoth sequence from The Empire Strikes Back. But if there is a moment that I would point to, it would be the moment when Zev, Rogue 2, is flying his snowspeeder the morning after Han and Luke have been out all night, and when he picks up the transmission from Han and Han says, "Good morning, nice for you guys to drop by." That, I think, is one of the moments, boiling it right down to a moment that lives rent-free in my head with Star Wars. The whole scene, that's also the first introduction of the hyperspace sound music cue from John Williams, and that is one of my all-time favorite music cues, and they bring it back, of course, later in the movie when the Millennium Falcon is trying to escape from Bespin. But even just the music all across the Hoth sequence, the Battle of Hoth, when they have the speeders showing up and you hear that slapping slap noise that's part of the orchestra, just such unusual choices and so iconic from John Williams. Just everything about it I love. One of my favorite toys as a kid was the Tauntaun, and I had one of the ones that had the belly that opened up, which was fantastic, so you could stick your Luke Skywalker figure inside the thing. And as far as original edition versus special edition goes, well, I had the pleasure of being on Podcast Stardust when they were doing their deep dives into The Empire Strikes Back last year during the 40th anniversary year, and I got to talk about part of the Hoth sequence as part of my appearance on there. And what I said there, I still stand by it, which is that I understand what George Lucas, wanted to do in terms of the technology and it not being where he wanted it to be at the time and wanting to make changes in that regard. And yeah, I get it. That's easy enough. The addition of stuff without a narrative purpose is where I get hung up. And so, for example, seeing the Wampa chewing on some meat and then seeing the Wampa going with his bloody arm, I don't know if we needed that personally. I mean, I don't know if that really falls within the, we didn't have the technology to do that. It's more cleaning up shots with the snowspeeders and the walkers, for example. That kind of technology stuff, yeah, I get it. Making the stop motion with the Tauntauns look a little smoother, sure, yeah, go for that stuff. That's just, my take. If your take differs, I'd love to hear your opinion on it. Tell me why you love special edition changes. By all means, wherever you catch this episode that has a comment section or at homebase at sw7x7.com. And over the years, what's really been thrilling, I've talked on the show about how I never really had a chance to dig into, at the time, was the expanded universe, now referred to as Legends. Got maybe a dozen novels in before at the time I just got overwhelmed with it and stopped following it, unfortunately. But now that I've had the opportunity to follow along as the canon has been rebooted, I've really been psyched to enjoy storytelling like Battlefront Twilight Company, where they actually were at Hoth for part of that storytelling, and the From a Certain Point of View collection of short stories that came out in honor of The Empire Strikes Back that had like a dozen short stories set on Hoth from a bunch of different perspectives. That has been so thrilling and wonderful. And I grew up in Southern California. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, so I mean that's desert. It is utterly and completely unlike Hoth whatsoever, and yet so much more like where I am now in the wintertime. So I'm, standing here in the middle of a snowstorm, and I'm thrilled to be in my own Hoth. It's a dream come true in its way. So, I think my fervent wish for you today is that whatever Star Wars dreams that you have or have had or even have yet to have, I hope that your Star Wars dreams get to come true in little pieces and bits every single day, and hopefully in a couple of huge bits every day too. If you're hearing some noise in the background, that's because we are recording this outside and that's snowplow going by. So the full authentic experience for you. Actually, I think that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. That will do it for my appreciation for Hoth, and I would love to hear what you think about Hoth as well. Please do, again, share comments wherever you like or at sw7x7.com. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for this episode, as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.